everyone. Okay, I'm using a different software for these live streams and I paid for it, so hopefully it actually works this time. So yeah, I'm excited about this. We're going to talk about Epic React Dev. This is all a Q&A, so any questions that you have, I will hopefully have answers, and if I don't have an answer, then maybe Cody will. So we are here together to answer any questions that you have about Epic React. While you, and the questions need to come into our Epic React channel on Discord. So you'll find that right here. So come to kcd.im/discord. The bot will ask you a couple questions. Make sure that you're going to be an awesome person here. And then you can go to the Epic React channel and ask any questions that you so please. And with that, I think I'm just going to give you a quick intro. Oh, I just realized that I'm not showing my screen. So my bad. Let me show you that again. Here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. We've got the kcd.im/discord will bring you here. You'll answer a couple questions to the bot if you haven't already joined. And then go to the Epic React channel, and that's where you can ask all your questions and whatnot. So while I'm waiting for your questions to come in to ask me whatever you want about Epic React Dev, I'm going to just give you a little tour. So I'm actually logged in. Let me log out. So, you know, secret stuff. Oh, yeah, and there was one other thing. I am announcing. This is exciting. So be excited. I am announcing. I just realized my face is kind of small in here, but I locked it. Never mind. I am announcing a podcast. I just published a podcast, and it's awesome because if you are familiar with React Podcast, the host, Chantastic, Michael Chan, is the host of this podcast. This one is a little bit self-indulgent, on the self-indulgent side, because it is 100% about me here. So let me get you a link to this, and I'll tweet about this actually right now. Why not? So I'm announcing a podcast. Dun, dun, dun. And I'll just leave that there. Hosted by the amazing, Chantastic, starry-eyed. Enjoy. Yep. Let's get a megaphone in here. Megaphone. Here we go. Okay, so that's exciting. I'll paste a link to that too, so you can retweet and all that stuff. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Enjoy the podcast. It's 9 episodes of kind of stories about me and things that I'm interested in, and like the perspectives that I have based on my experience in building web apps. So with that out of the way, yeah, right, Chantastic, fire, awesome, he's fantastic. So yeah, let me just give you a quick rundown of Epic React Dev, and then you can bring in all of your awesome questions. So Epic React Dev is the most comprehensive guide to React for professional developers, 100%. I don't know of anything else on the internet that has so much material from a single instructor that's so cohesive. There's nothing else like this. Also, I don't know of anything else that has such a cool rocket animation. That's pretty rad. So anyway, we just updated the this copy right here. So if you want to read through that again, it's kind of interesting. We've got a couple of interesting things coming up that actually should be getting deployed like right now. In fact, if I refresh, I wonder if we'll get it, because I just barely merged a couple of sweet PRs. Yeah, here they are. Look at this. So some really happy workshop attendees that you can take a look at what they have to say about taking some of this material. All of this material that we have in the Epic React workshop, which is right here. All of this material is based on workshops that I created to give them in person. And I realized that I can give hundreds of workshops, but I'll still never be able to reach the number of people who want to take this material. And so that's when I said, okay, let's make a legit recorded version of this stuff. But it's not just like recorded videos. If you've taken testing JavaScript or really any online thing, period, you'll know that like just watching a recorded video is very different from being able to put your keys on or your hands on the keyboard, doing exercises, and then having the videos to supplement your learning. So I'm really excited about Epic React for that particular approach to teaching you all of this stuff. So somebody mentioned that the audio is low. My bad. Let me see if I can get that fixed here. There we go. That should be better now. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so, and sorry for blasting your ears out if you turned up your volume like super loud. Still getting used to this new Ecamm thing, but I think it'll be better than OBS. We won't get things dropping, which will be nice. Yeah, okay, so it's all workshop based. Here's another really cool thing about this is as a workshop instructor, I've always had a really difficult challenge trying to make things so that they're real world enough for you to be able to practically apply it to your like work application, whatever you're trying to actually accomplish with what you're learning, but not so domain specific that those extra things distract from what you're actually trying to learn, the core thing that you're actually trying to learn. And so striking that balance is very difficult. And so I feel like I've done a pretty good job, but with Epic React, I've just kind of embraced that challenge and said, okay, we're going to teach you everything in isolation with some contrived examples, like relatable but contrived examples. And then we will have this build an Epic React app workshop that is going to take all of those things that you learned and apply it to a real world scenario. And so that way you get both of these things. And I think that it's like the 1-2 punch that's really going to help you learn this stuff super well. So that'll be exciting. I'm really stoked about that. So here, these are just some screenshots from the course material and things. So this is what the course actually look like when you're working through things. You have like each one of these exercises explodes into a bunch of videos for the introduction, my solution, and then all of the extra credits and videos to go through each one of those. We also have transcripts. They're awesome. And we'll have a couple other things on here as well that I'm excited for you to learn about. And then lots of the time, in fact, most of the time you're going through Epic React, you'll be in your own editor. And that's what I recommend is like you should actually spend more time with your hands on the keyboard than you are just sitting back watching me go through things. That's the way to do it right. And this is why, like when people say, how long is it? Well, I haven't added up all of the time, but we've got like maybe 350 videos at like around 5 minutes a piece. So 5 minutes times 350 divided by 60, that's like 30 hours of video. So like that's a lot. And this isn't like me sitting around being like, hi everyone, my name is Kent. Let me tell you all the things that I want to tell you about. Like I'm not wasting your time with this stuff. This is really high value 2-minute content. Like just in the chat, in Discord, if anybody's taking my stuff, I just want you to double testify with me that I don't waste your time, and 30 hours of video is just jam packed with quality content. So that's something to look forward to as well. And on top of that, you should be spending most of your time just working on your own. And so like in the editor. And so this Epic React thing is way bigger than you are even picturing right now. You're going to learn so much. I can't wait. It's so cool. This is the app that you're going to be working in. You've got the instructions on the left and the exercises and everything on the right. And then you will get certificates that you can, for each one of the workshops, that you can use to get reimbursed from work or whatever. And yeah, it's launching soon. I can't wait. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to show for right now. Don't forget the podcast. That's exciting. So now I'm going to pull over our Discord chat and we'll get some questions answered. So let me scroll up here. We're going to talk Q&A stuff. Is there going to be any TypeScript? I think this was earlier, but I wanted to address this anyway. So there is not any TypeScript on Epic React, but I am leaving the door open for there to be TypeScript in the future, possibly. So we'll see what the future holds for that. I'm not making any like absolute promises that I will include TypeScript in the future, but it is on my list of things that I want to add in the future. And just like with testing JavaScript, I expect that existing license holders will get those updates for free. That's also not a promise, but that's the plan. Okay, so is testing included? Yes. If it is, any discounts for those who already have it? Okay, so I think Andre is specifically asking about testingjavascript.com. Testingjavascript.com is not included. So this is a separate thing altogether. There are testing videos on Epic React, but testing JavaScript is way more full of testing content. There's so much stuff. Like, we don't go into mocking fundamentals or static analysis or tooling configuration or even the fundamentals of testing. We just don't have the time to do that in Epic React. So if you want to get super good at React and super good at testing, then you want both of these. But if you don't have testing JavaScript already and you get Epic React, then you'll actually get a discount for 24 hours. You'll have an opportunity to get a discount to testing JavaScript as well. So if you already have a license to testing JavaScript, then good for you. That's awesome. Congratulations. Oh, and another thing that probably is going to be asked, but it applies to both testing JavaScript and Epic React. Testing JavaScript has always had a 30-day money-back guarantee. You just say, hey, this didn't satisfy my expectations, and you'll get your money back. Epic React also has this, except it has a 90-day money-back guarantee. That's right on the page right here, 90-day full money-back guarantee. So it really is a very low risk. I mean, it's going to take some of your time, but it's a very low-risk activity. So yeah, it's going to be great. Fantastic fire! Yeah, the audio is low. It's not low anymore because I made it not low. Anything in Epic React about state management and when to use what? Yes, so much about Epic React or about state management in Epic React. So you'll learn about state management in React hooks, advanced React hooks, and advanced React patterns. We'll have stuff on state management. React performance. We'll have stuff on state management and how to, like, when it's appropriate to use a library to help you avoid state management or performance issues relative to state management. And then build an Epic React app goes in pretty heavy on state management. So yeah, that's good stuff. You're going to like that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, so how the practice goes. I'm not sure I understand this question. Maybe if you could elaborate on the question, Avram, that would be awesome. The landing page looks like a KCD blog now. Yes, it does, because it's huge. It's really, there's tons of stuff in here. It's fun. Give it a read. What are the requirements for the certificate? Also, when do you expect people to start speed running it? So I don't recommend anybody speed run Epic React. You will die. No, just kidding. You won't actually die. But this is beyond a marathon. This is like an Ironman or woman. It's huge. So I don't recommend anybody trying to speed run it. But yeah, the requirements for the certificate are you finish every video. And because there are exercises, we can't really know when you're finished with the exercise. And so you do have to click on each one. I finished, mark this one as finished. So yeah, the requirement is just that every video has been marked as finished, and then you'll get the certificate. And like I said, there's a certificate for each individual workshop as well. How a student gets feedback. So there are a couple mechanisms for getting feedback, so first off, there's providing feedback. When you're logged in, then you can provide feedback if you have some sort of, like, there's a bug in the app. But if you have a question about the content and the material, that's what this Discord is for. So you'll have thousands, hopefully, of people who are going through the same material with you, and you can ask with them. And this is where I mention the learning clubs. So I strongly recommend that you don't go it alone and you run through this with a learning club. And you can find available or learning clubs that have availability in the active clubs channel. Somebody started a KCD learning club for Epic React, and it was here for like a couple hours and then it was full. So there are a lot of people who want to be part of a club. You just need to start it. And I shared a video earlier just on Twitter for learning clubs, so I'll just show you that real quick right here. So I'll grab this, paste it in here, and yeah, start a learning club. You will learn better if you learn with other people. But even whether you do a learning club or not, you can totally just go through it on your own, and if you have questions, come here to Epic React in Discord. So somebody's tagging you. Oh, okay. Oh, are you hearing that? Oh, yeah. Here, let me turn off. I'm going to mute the computer sound. So now, because I don't need to share that. So thanks for the feedback there. Would you recommend it for developers who already develop React on a daily basis? Yes. Big time yes. Okay. So the React Fundamentals Workshop and part of the React Hooks is actually available for free, sort of, on the Beginner's Guide to React on Egghead. So if you want to, you can go through this. This is not exercise-based, and there are some things that are missing in here that you'll find in Epic React. But yeah, if you want to get a taste of what the videos are sort of like, then you can go through this. It's totally free. But I've had people go through this who have years of experience doing React. In fact, I had one person who'd been doing React for longer than I have, and they told me that they learned stuff from this. So if you can learn stuff from the basic fundamentals and basic hooks, then imagine what you can learn from advanced React hooks, advanced patterns, React performance. Yeah, this is absolutely something that literally everybody who wants to do React can learn a huge amount from. So yes, if you are experienced with React, I strongly advise getting this. Testify. Yeah, that's, I'm guessing, a reference to when I said, hey, high value to minute content here. Okay, does the course cover TS? I mentioned that already. Yeah, no time wasted. That's what I'm talking about. If we buy the whole course, do we get the updates, new contents for free? That is the current plan, as I said earlier. It's not a promise, but it is a plan, and that's what we've been doing with testing JavaScript. I see no reason to not continue with that that process. And the pricing is set to make that like sustainable. So that's the goal. Does Epic React cover how to handle dependencies when using React? How to manage all the updates all the time? I get notifications from GitHub all the time about security and yada yada. No, we don't actually get into that specifically. It totally is a pain. I recommend, yeah, so I don't talk about this in Epic React, but I'll just tell you one thing that helped me a lot when I was at PayPal is I created a package called PayPal scripts that encapsulated all of the tooling for most projects. And so what was nice about that is that I only had one project that I needed to go and update all of the tooling, and then I would just bump the patch version in all of these other projects. So it just reduced the number of direct dependencies a huge amount in all of my projects. So that was a huge benefit. And then all I had to worry about was the front end dependencies, which you'd update every couple weeks or however, whatever cadence you're at. I did every week or two. I would get dependencies updated. So yeah, but we don't really cover that in Epic React. Yes, you do get a discount coming from a different country. You get to choose which discount you want. So you can have a purchase power parity discount, which can be like super, super big discount. Or you can get the 24-hour discount. So whichever one that you want. But you definitely want to look on that first day and see what that huge 24-hour discount is going to be, because it's big. Does the course tell about testing styled components? AstroTurf. So actually, I've heard of AstroTurf, but I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure I guess it's a styled components thing. Styled components. Or maybe it's just another CSS and JS thing. Okay, neat. So we actually use emotion in here, and now I'm trying to remember if I actually show you how to do this or not. So let me find out. Testing. I know that it's not going to happen, or we don't have that in the build React apps, but testing React apps. By the way, all the material is open source. It's online. You can find it in the Epic React Dev topic, all 8 repos. There are 8 repos, but there are actually 11 workshops because the Bookshelf app is 4 workshops. But yeah, so you can find all the material online. That's intentional. I do want to. I realize that a course or boot camp, whatever you want to call this, of this magnitude is out of reach for some people financially, and so this is one of the things that I try to do to help reach the people who just really can't afford it. Maybe their employer can't pay for it for them, or they're making a transition from a waitress or something like that. So anyway, testing React apps is right here, and I don't think that I've got anything here for testing like emotion or styled components. Yeah, I don't think I have anything in here for that. But testingjavascript.com does. It definitely does have stuff like that. And it is emotion. You can use styled components or AstroTurf. They're going to be basically the same. And in general, for like style testing, I normally recommend using visual regression testing. So something like Applitools. And I have on my list for updates to testing JavaScript, I have on my list to add something like Applitools as an appendix or something, how to use Applitools with Cypress or something. So can you share the length of each section, minutes, hours for Epic React? So I can't. I should have added all of this up. We're going to do another Q&A later on another live stream, and I will try to add up all of the hours. There are so many videos. Like I need to count those too, but like 350 videos or something. A lot of videos. And so it's kind of hard to, I need to write a script to add up everything. But it is a lot. But I can tell you that when I give this material as a workshop, it's a 5-hour workshop with breaks. So 4-hour workshop total. And so each one of these is a 4-hour workshop, 4-hour workshop, 4, 4, 4, 4. And then this one is 4 workshops by itself. So this one is a 16-hour workshop when I give it live. I'm telling you, this is epic. Like, it's a lot of stuff. So tons and tons and tons of stuff. Company is already prepared to buy for the team. Yeah, your company cares. Not to suggest that your company doesn't care if they don't buy this, but I mean, do they? No, just kidding. It's great. That's awesome. Congratulations, Tiger. Any hints on advanced React patterns? What would it include? So like I said, all of the content is available online right now. So you can go look at the material. We go to advanced React patterns, then it's all right here. And you can actually pull it up, advanced react patterns.netlify.app. And this will show you the running app that has all of the exercises. Here's the background information. This is everything that you're going to be running through as you work through these workshops. So yeah, if you want to, you can make this happen, and you can actually go through the whole thing yourself. It is very hand-holdy intentionally. The thing that you'll miss is the me walking through the solution, which is a huge value. So yeah, but you can take a look and see what patterns are available and that sort of thing. So if that is helpful to you, hopefully. So good. Will the price be higher when testing JavaScript was launched? Oh, yes, absolutely. Testing JavaScript, I think it's like 8 hours of video, which is like nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot. That is so much stuff. But Epic React is just so much more epic. It is so much bigger. So yes, it will be quite a bit more than testing JavaScript is. The launch price with that discount in the first 24 hours is going to get it closer to where testing JavaScript is right now. But yeah, so it is going to be pricey. But like in our copyright here, live these workshops cost $600 per workshop. To attend them all costs $7,000. So it's not going to be that much. you're gonna get a major discount because I've been able to scale myself. So this is me creating cost savings and passing those cost savings on to you. That's what all this is. I've scaled, and with the economies of scale, now the cost for me to produce this for you is much lower, so I can give you a lower price. So that is great. Is Epic React bigger than Bookshelf app? Oh, like, is this app right here bigger than the Bookshelf app? Yes, it is. Yeah, because it has more resources that it's interacting it with. So yeah, the Bookshelf app, you can look at the Bookshelf app right now, bookshelf.lol, and you can see what the Bookshelf app entails. You can go around and say, oh, okay, I'm going to type in awesome notes. And you've got all of this stuff here. We're going to say we read it, and now we can rank it. We're going to say this is a 4-star. No, just kidding. It's a 5-star. Zach Argyle was my buddy. I don't know if you know him, but he's fantastic. This is a great book. But yeah, so that's pretty much what this entails, is a couple of resources, just enough to be real world enough for you to apply what you've actually learned, without being such an enormous app that you have to spend 2 months ramping up on it. So that's the idea. I want you to actually build this from scratch. So here, in fact, we can go to let's see, it is exercises 01. Render. I can't remember. Anyway, each one of these exercises is also deployed individually, and so you can see as we go about building this app. So it's kind of cool. And even like the exercise and the final, everything is going to be, it has its own deployment. It's very cool. Look forward to that. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. Okay. What are my sales goals? I don't know. I hope that I sell this to every React developer, I guess. I don't know. So the sales goals, I know that this is going to be successful. I know that I'm going to recoup my investment of time and like the investment of creating the app. So beyond that, I'm like, the sky's the limit. What I'm more interested in, given that that's taken care of, is how many people can I help learn React better so that they can go off and take that knowledge and make the world a better place by building their apps. That's my goal in everything that I do is, hi, I'm Kenzie Dodds. I help people make the world better through quality software. That's my mission statement. And that is why I created Epic React, because I realized I can't scale as I just give out these workshops to individual developers. I need to be able to give this to every developer who wants to learn React. And so with that in mind, I created Epic React. And hopefully I can help more people make the world even better. And yeah, as long as my investment in my time and in building the app is recouped, then I'm fine. Cool, let's keep going. Is there going to have purchase power parity? Yes, we will have purchase power parity. I answered that earlier. Does it cover profiling React, fix performance issues, right? Yeah. It all is right here. React performance. Yeah, I teach you how to use the tools. So there are two tools. There's the tool to identify, or there's the tool that React provides you to optimize things. And then there's the tool that helps you identify which of those tools to implement. And I teach you how to use both of those things. So yeah, look forward to that. It's going to be great. How much is it worth? It's worth a career bump or a promotion at work. That's what it's worth. But how much does it cost? That'll be a surprise for you when it's released. How long would a good pace to do the material? 2 months or 6 months, maybe, or a year? It really depends on how fast you are. So this is kind of funny. So when I'm talking to my kids and they say, hey, can I go out and do this thing? And I say, well, did you clean your room? And or I say, well, could you go down and get your room clean? And they say, well, it's already clean, or it's almost clean. I say, great, then it shouldn't take you very long to get it clean. And so that's kind of how I see this as well. If you know all of React, you think you know it all, then it shouldn't take you very long to go through this. But if you are just barely beginning, then I would recommend, like, so this is totally catered for both the absolute advanced developers as well as like, I just barely learned JavaScript and now I want to learn React. So for that developer, I recommend going through React fundamentals and then giving it a week and just letting that settle, maybe work on a side project or something, and then move on to React hooks and then letting that settle, work on a side project. Or you could really interleave building the Epic React app, because it also is kind of gets more advanced as you go along. And so you just do a couple exercises from the Epic React app. And so it will take you a good amount of time. If you do one a week, then that's, we have 11 workshops, including the 4 that come from the building an app. So that's 11 weeks just from that. For the learning clubs, I actually give you more time because I think you will need more time. So let's see, it's KCD learning clubs ideas. And so if you wanted to make a learning club right now, this is what you do. You go to this page, which I will paste here, and you come down to Epic React Dev. You open this up, you copy this template, and then you go to that to the learning club's registration form. You make a copy of the form and you paste this in. You fill in the pieces. But here's what the schedule is. It's a 14-week schedule for what I suggest people do as they go through this stuff. So it's going to be faster or slower depending on how much experience you already have with React. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend many people going much faster than 14 weeks, which is quite a bit of time. But like, if you want to, this is not easy, by the way. Like, this is going to take you some time. It takes investment. There's literally no thing that you can buy that can just feed you React experience. You're not going to get that from anything. My self-paced workshop is no exception to that. You're going to need to put in the work. And if you don't want to, if you're like, no, I'm just going to hack it together and ship stuff, well, fine. Epic React is not your thing. Skip Epic React if that's what you want to do. Do we learn Next.js? So no, we don't talk about Next.js. We're using Create React App, but I don't really dive too deep into Create React App either. The thing is that, like, the principles that you're learning will apply regardless of which framework you use, Next.js or Gatsby or Create React App or upcoming Remix, which I'm really looking forward to. So maybe in the future, I'll add some videos on like, okay, so now that you learned all this stuff, here are just a couple of things that you need to know about using these different other tools. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds there. But yeah, right now we don't really dive too deep into the frameworks beyond just React stuff. How long did it take to build this? That's a great question. I've been learning how to build this since I started learning how to type, pretty much. Like, it's really hard to quantify how long it takes to create something like this, because you know, how long did it take me to learn React? How long did it take me to learn to teach React? How much time did I spend building products that help me like learn and develop the intuition that I have about the problems that people are going to face when they're building React apps? It's impossible to quantify that. So all I can say is almost 32 years. My 32nd birthday is October 18th. So a very long time. Yeah, it's really impossible to quantify that. If you're talking like recording videos and building the app and everything, I've been working on recording these videos, yeah, since like January. And then like the videos is actually the quick part relative to developing the material. That takes way longer. So yeah, I've been working on this for a very, very, very long time. So yeah, I hope I recoup my investment. Where do I deploy my React apps? I'm a big fan of Netlify. Love Netlify. Having serverless functions just completes the circle for me. So if I need to do a backend thing here or there, then I just do a serverless function. And then their serverless functions are really easy. Firebase is also quite interesting. I was an early Firebase user and then moved to Netlify right around the time I think that they did static hosting. And yeah, I think I'd be happy with Firebase too. So that's another one to look at. How long have I been working on it? Another one, same question, forever, for so long. If I get a money discount, do I still have the money back guarantee? Yes, you do. Are the Epic React videos going to be on Egghead by chance? Not a chance. Just like testing JavaScript, this is hosted on Egghead's infrastructure. Egghead built the app. In fact, like I didn't build any of this app. I just created the content. And so, yeah, it is hosted on Egghead's infrastructure. It was all built by Egghead, but the videos will not be available with an Egghead license. Okay, 40 hours of video content. Yeah, something. I'm not sure. And there's actually some surprise stuff that I'm not telling you about that you will find out when it's launched, which you're going to enjoy. It's going to be great. Why React versus vanilla JavaScript? So that's a great question, Bobby. So here's the way that I see it. If you want to build a real application, like a real world application, you have hundreds of hundreds of thousands or millions of users, and it does many things, then let's just imagine what would happen here. Let's take the path of React. We're going to build things. We're going to maybe take Epic React Dev to learn how to do things effectively and avoid performance problems and whatever. And we're going to get it shipped, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to love it. Now, let's say we take the vanilla JS route. Well, the first thing that we're going to need to do is build a framework, because you can't build a sizable application without having some sort of abstraction between you and like everything else. Like it is impossible for you to not build a framework. If you try to avoid building a framework, what you're going to end up with is your own framework that you created. And the problem with your framework is that it hasn't been battle tested, it doesn't have users, and there's no documentation online. There are no libraries that integrate with your framework. So yeah, like if you're just going to build a little toy thing, then sure, go ahead and do vanilla JavaScript. But if you want to build something real and you want to be able to maintain it in the long term, pick React for sure. So that's a great question. Thanks for asking, Bobby. Thank you, Code Stacker. Any plans of selling t-shirts? I'm not going to say anything about that. I see. Oh my gosh. Okay. The lack in depth JavaScript and how it actually works, even though I work on React apps every day. Can you give me some suggestions? Yes, Lack or Lock. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry. Hope I didn't offend you. Yeah, so we have How to React, and in How to React, I give you a couple of resources, and one of them is JavaScript to know for React. So there's that. Also, you'll notice that in each one of these repos, I have this prerequisites, and I give you links to blog posts, or here we have a video that you can watch. And so, like, as you're going through things, I'll say, hey, I'm acting under the assumption that you know this, or that you have experience with this. And so you'll have an idea of what you need to do to prepare to be as effective as possible with this particular workshop. So yes, hopefully those resources are helpful for you. When is launch day? It is coming up so close. So it is epicreact.dev countdown. And I will give that to you right now. 5 days, 22 hours, 20 minutes, and 30 seconds. I can't wait. Good stuff. I saw the secret early access channel. Yeah, there it is. So I don't know how I could have built this without having some people have early access so they can provide me feedback. I'm sorry, not everybody could get in. I handpicked people who I'd seen already do a huge amount of useful things for me. In particular, actually, I chose a day and I looked at everybody who'd contributed to the open source projects like React Hooks, for example. If you look down here toward the bottom, everybody who had contributed to these workshops got early access. So because like they went the extra mile, and I appreciate that about them. So yeah, I'm afraid that I couldn't just give early access to everybody, but yeah, we did get some early accessors, and they provided awesome feedback on the app and on the material and everything. And so yeah, sorry, not everybody's going to get that. With Epic React, we will be able to go from junior to senior dev. Yes, that's right. And you will get a pay raise and a promotion and maybe a new job, and like it'll be great. That's the goal. And I want you to take those skills and transform your organization into a powerhouse of making the world a better place. That's the goal. Is this course going to cover application security best practices as well? Not specifically, but in the build an epic React app, we talk about authentication, and there are some security implications in there. Luckily with React, there aren't a whole lot of security implications from like the low-hanging fruit stuff like cross-site scripting and that sort of thing. So we don't really need to worry about some of those things, but there are, most of your security concerns are going to be dealt with by the backend services that you're using. And so, yeah, there are absolutely security concerns on the front end. I don't want to get wrong about that, but let's be clear. Literally anything you send over the wire to the end user, you should assume they have total and complete view and control over that. You should never try to obfuscate the user or like what you send over the wire. Once it gets over that wire to the user's machine, it is theirs. So there's not really any concerns like outside of that. Like you just have to acknowledge that there's nothing you can do to make that more secure. But yeah, outside of that, there's not really a whole lot of security concerns because you have cross-site scripting taken care of thanks to React. I mean, there are things you can do to sidestep that, so watch out for that, I guess. We never actually, I don't think there's a single place in the course where we use dangerously set inner HTML because that's just such a thing that you don't do a whole lot that I didn't feel like it was super valuable to include. Yeah, then there's like, yeah, it really comes down to your backend. Your backend should not send users things that they shouldn't see. And so that's why there's not a whole lot. But all of that said, I do have a blog post for authentication in React apps. And at the bottom of this blog post, there's a link to an authentication course, which is the React Security by my friend, Ryan Schenke. And he, he's been working, or he's worked at Auth0. He has lots of experience with security. So you could go and take his thing as a supplemental course. It's pretty cheap. And actually, I think my link gives a special discount. I can't remember now. I do get a kickback though, so I'll just mention that. But yeah, if you want to dive deeper on React security, then there's that. Okay, cool. React query, yes. Check this out. Well, I'm not logged in right now, but yes, there are like 24 videos on React query, all in this build an epic React app. So yeah, React query is definitely covered, including testing of React query as well. and that's in addition to those 24 videos. So there are a bunch more videos for testing components that use React query. You're gonna like that. React Router is also included. In fact, I'm using the beta version 6 of React Router because I thought by now it would be released. It's not yet, which is a real bummer. And there's actually a bug which sort of impacts us a little bit, which is kind of frustrating. But I hear that that Ryan Florence and Michael Jackson are like heads down on Remix, which is very tightly coupled to React Router. And so hopefully in the near future, we'll get that officially released. When it is, I will update the repo, and yeah, we should be off to the races. The new React Router API is sick. I love it. So yes, React Router is included. There is an entire section on routing. What major libraries are we using? Yeah, so we're not using Redux, but we are using React Query. We're using Emotion. We're using React Router. In fact, we do a couple here. Actually, I'll just scroll through these. No libraries here, other than like prop types and stuff. No libraries here. Yeah, I don't think we're doing any libraries in this one. We are using. No, we're not doing anything in this one either. React Performance is using React Virtual and Recoil. I'm actually thinking about switching it to Jotai, which is very similar to Recoil, except that it has better type safety, and it's a community-based project. So I may actually today or tomorrow update the React Performance, the video that I had for Recoil, and switch it to Jotai because I think it's probably a better bet. They're very similar, but yeah. So I show you that in addition to React Virtual. We also have Downshift.js is used in this one. So yeah, that's kind of fun. Testing React apps. I'll let you guess which library we're using for that. Of course, it's testing library. Yeah, we're going to be using Jest and React testing library for that. React Suspense, we're not using any libraries for this one. And then Build an Epic React app is using a bunch that we can find in the Bookshelf app. If you just look in the package JSON, then you'll find all of the libraries we're using here. So we're using ReachUI for a couple of things. I love ReachUI. It's so great. We're using Emotion. We're using Bootstrap just for a reset. And CodeGen. Yeah, actually, this should be removed. I used to be using CodeGen. We're not using that anymore. It was just too complicated. Faker for some testing stuff. The history module. I don't think I need that, actually. This is kind of a fun review. Match sorter is being used. That's my own library. MSW, prop types, React error boundary, another one of my libraries. React icons, React query, yeah, React query DevTools, React router, and stop runaway effects, another one of my libraries. And then we've got, yeah, did you know we're actually going to be talking Cypress? That's right. We don't have any isolated exercises, but there is like any workshops. We don't talk about Cypress in the testing React apps, but we do talk about end-to-end testing with Cypress in here, and it's a great one. So yeah, we've got Cypress in here. We talk about testing React hooks. We've got user event. Yeah, it's all good stuff. Of course, we have Prettier. Who lives without Prettier? I don't understand it. So yeah, good stuff, fun things. I can't wait. Good stuff. Okay, top 3 things I want to add to Epic React. Well, I've got a Google Keep, so let me pull that up right now. And here's what I've got in here. Epic React. Where is it? Notes. Here we go. So I've got TypeScript, accessibility, storybook, localization, Tailwind, deploying on Netlify, and using Remix. Those are the things that are on my list, in no particular order. So yeah, those I'm excited to add those eventually because I think they're great. The React call return API. Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know what the future for that is. It's pretty low level API. I don't expect people to use it. But sorry, I should say that differently. I expect people to use it if it does come out, but I don't expect the typical users to use it because it's pretty low level. It's more of it's very atomic. Yeah, it's interesting. I remember Ryan Florence explaining it to me, and I only sort of understand it. So we'll see if that ever lands. Do you have a big third big course planned after Epic React and testing JavaScript? Actually, yes. I have this dream to one day be able to say buy kcd.edu. Except I think you have to actually be an educational institution to get a .edu domain. But I'd love to have like a Epic web dev. I actually do have a epicjs.dev. Yeah, my redirect isn't working for some reason. But I also have epic javascript.dev, which also the redirect isn't working right now. But yeah, so I'd love to get like, I know epic web dev is taken, which is just such a shame. But yeah, I'd love to have another, like, let's take it further down the stack or down the layer of abstraction. We'll talk about CSS, HTML, DOM, JavaScript, that sort of thing. That's probably pretty far into the future at this point. I was kind of thinking that next year I would be working on that, but I've got so much to do with testing JavaScript and Epic React to get, like by the time I finish updating testing JavaScript, it might be time to start adding things to Epic React. So I don't know. Maybe someday. Someday. I'd like to. No framework specifics. I mentioned that a little earlier. Will this course cover anything on logging stuff? Yes, actually. We don't actually log. Well, yeah, actually we do log user interactions. Most of that is in Build an Epic React App and React performance. So this is like performance or production performance monitoring is what you're going to learn in those two things. And we do send stuff to a backend or just send a profile, hit a profile endpoint to send some stuff to put it in a time series database. Yeah, and there are ways that you can add user tracing, and I show you how to do that as well. But nothing beyond that. So it's not like user clicked on sign up button or anything like that. But you will learn everything you need to be able to implement something like that. What would you say about an API that would allow to imperatively render stuff like confirmation dialogues? I would say I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think I would use that because I like declarative APIs better. Especially since we have React or Reach dialog. It's so good. It's awesome. Thank you, Emiliano. Thank you. Are we building a backend? No, we are not building a backend. The idea behind Epic React is we are laser focused on the front end, and my target audience are people who want to be really, really good at React. And I don't, I'm sure that there are really great full stack engineers, but I don't know many people who are really good at both the back end and the front end. That is not there's not many people who are just super good at both. So I'm targeting the people who want to be really good at the front end. And based on everything that you learn here, you can consume another backend's API and build a legit real app. So no, we don't do anything with the backend in this course. We do work with the backend. It is a mock backend, but we do work with the backend. And it is a RESTful backend. We also do interact with some GraphQL APIs, but you don't make those queries yourself. Those are provided for you. And that's also a mock thing. The idea is you have to strike the balance of really easy to get up and going. So that would say, okay, hit a third-party service or hit an existing service that that is always up. But also I want to be able to work completely offline. And if you want both of those things, then you can't have a server that you run locally because that conflicts with the idea of making it super easy to start with. Early on in my early workshopping days, I required everybody to get Mongo installed. And this might be made better with Docker, but then I'd require everybody to get Docker installed. So I wanted to eliminate the tangential challenges, things that were not related to what we're actually trying to learn. And so I've accomplished that with MSW, and it's awesome. So after Epic React, what's future plans? Update testing JavaScript. That's the next thing for me. Daily live streams are making me very excited. Me too! Looking forward to enhancing my screens with Epic React. Me also, friend, amigo. Will we do any Webpack configuring? No. I haven't configured Webpack in a very long time, and I don't recommend anybody do that unless you're building a framework that wraps it. Because, yeah, there's we have too many good frameworks to configure Webpack. Go build your thing. So yeah, we're not doing any Webpack configuring of any kind. Have you explained Epic React will have purchase parity considerations? Yes, it will have purchase parity for developing countries. What is Jotai? Jotai is right there. Does Epic React cover legacy React patterns? No, actually, we're 100% function components. I think we do build an error boundary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we build an error boundary in React hooks, I think. But then I just switch it for React error boundary, the module. And so from there, that would be the only class that we use. So yeah, there's nothing about legacy React patterns. If you want to, then I have this Refactor React course on Egghead for those of you who want to refactor from classes to hooks. This has helped a lot of people modernize their code bases. So yeah, but that's not going to be included in Epic React. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Vim. Any material on profiling using DevTools? Yes, we do that a lot in the React performance thing. So yeah, you'll get plenty of practice with that. Will KCD.edu have an Epic Node backend? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So when I was at PayPal, I did a lot of Node, and I do tons of Node for tooling and everything. So I dabble in Node a lot. But even when I was at PayPal doing Node servers, I never really enjoyed doing backend stuff. And so I mean, it's possible that I could do make some backend course, but it would kind of require me to shift my focus. And so it's unlikely to happen unless I just decide, hey, you know what? I want to get really good at backend. So yeah, I'm good enough that I can show you how to test your backend, and that's why I added a testing node to testing JavaScript. But yeah, I don't think that I'm confident enough in my backend abilities to teach you how to build backend products. Yeah, so nope, probably not in the near future anyway. Do you talk about local storage, session storage versus cookies? Not directly. So what I recommend, like typically that's something for authentication. And what I recommend, well, okay, so let me back up. We do use local storage for different things. We make a custom use local storage hook to show how to use custom hooks and stuff. But for the authentication piece, it's typically not recommended to use local storage for something like that. But there are so many security concerns for authentication that I actually don't recommend you build your own authentication, and instead you use a third-party provider for authentication for your app. Either that, or you have a team that's just dedicated to authentication for your company. But in the Build React Apps, Build an Epic React App workshops, I show you how to build a React app, and I have a authentication provider. So I didn't want to tie us to like Firebase or Auth0 or anything, but I created my own module that exposes the same or a very similar API that those client libraries would expose, so that you get experience interacting with an API like that without having to actually like set up your own developer keys and everything like that. So yeah, that answers that question. Is the Build Epic React App bookshelf? Yes, that's exactly what it is. And if you want to, you can take a look at the exercises. This one is a little bit unique relative to my other workshops, because the workshops are like exercise 1, exercise 2. This one is like an app that we build incrementally. And so this is all using branches. So you can take a look. These are all the exercises that we've got. I need to delete some of these old ones. But yeah, so it's all exercises 1 through 14. And that may not seem like a lot, but some of these are like, for example, cache management. That one's 24 videos. So there's that. So yeah, so building an Epic React app is the bookshelf. And I think each workshop is around 4 videos. Or sorry, each workshop, because the bookshelf app is actually 4 workshops, and each one of those is like around 4 branches. Okay. Useful to me. Someone experienced React Dev. Yes. Alexander, yes. You will take this and you will be like, wow, my mind is exploded. Yes. Did anyone notice the animation bug in Firefox on the Epic React website? I did not, but if you want to report it, then feel free to send an email to team@kenseydodds.com. We'd be happy to take a look at it for you. Will Epic React course be updated in the future with upcoming React versions? That is the plan, to keep it updated. Just joined. Awesome. Will there be any coverage for React with TypeScript? That was actually one of the first questions that I answered, so scrub back and watch that. Will it be used for state management, or what will be used for state management? I also answered that earlier, so you want to scrub back and watch my answers. I am on Firefox right now. Okay. Here we got a screen capture. Thank you for helping and stuff. I've got to wrap things up. It is noon my time, and I've got to move on to lunch because I'm hungry. But I'll answer these last couple questions. Will it be good for somebody who's looking for their first job? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I can't make any promises, but I would suggest that if you go through Epic React and you get that certificate, you can show that as a thing like, hey, listen, I know React. I went through this, all these exercises. I know what I'm talking about. I mean, that might help. I don't know. That seems a little pretentious for me to say that, but but either way, like with or without the certificate, you will learn React really well, and you'll do well in the interview as you go through this. I really consider Epic React to be like a dev boot camp, or like, yeah, that's the level of what we're doing here. So yeah, it'll be a lot cheaper than a boot camp, I promise. Are the Epic React app using third-party libraries? Yep, I answered that earlier on. You'll have to scrub back a little bit. We are using lots of libraries. Great, thank you so much. I'm also waiting for it. How much will it cost? That's a surprise. I answered that earlier as well. We're just getting a lot of repeat questions, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. What would you say to those that say, Create React app is very large and bloated since it's trying to accommodate everyone? It's super fast to get started, which is awesome, but when going to production, it would be better to configure it yourself. I strongly disagree. The suggestion that it's large and bloated, like that's relative, right? So relative to what? I guess building it yourself maybe won't be as large and bloated, or rather, eventually your thing will be just as large and bloated, but it will be yours to deal with. So there's that. You can use Gatsby. That's also large and bloated. Next.js, also large and bloated. Like, yeah, so I disagree with that assertion entirely. In the future, when you add TypeScript, will you cover the bookshelf app? Yeah, so actually, I'll just tell you, when I'm with the TypeScript thing, I'm thinking that what I'll do is probably make a standalone workshop, just like all of these. So a standalone workshop for TypeScript with React or something like that. And then I will have another workshop. So we'll do two workshops. One that's a standalone, let's learn TypeScript with React. And then another one that is migrating the bookshelf app from JavaScript to TypeScript. And we'll just we'll take all of the things that we learned in the isolated workshop and apply it to a real world scenario. I think that would be pretty cool. So we'll see. I don't know. I've never migrated an app to TypeScript. When I was at PayPal, I started a couple new projects with TypeScript. We were using Flow and on our existing project, and so I didn't migrate that from Flow to TypeScript. But yeah, I used TypeScript on a couple of projects at PayPal. I never migrated to TypeScript. So that'll be a learning experience for me. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm just going to close with the last couple of things. So just don't forget, the Epic React launches in 5 days and 20 hours from now. Also, at the beginning of this, I announced the podcast. I'm super excited about that. Yes, we will have this on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts eventually. They're just silly that way. It takes forever. But it is on Spotify, and there is an RSS feed here as well. Subscribe. There's the RSS feed. You got Spotify, and you've got Pocket Casts, which is what I use. It's great. So yeah, look forward to that. Eventually it'll get on Apple. Why does anybody use Apple Podcasts? It takes forever to get podcasts on there. But yeah, so look forward to that. I also have an article that'll come out tomorrow about use effect, myths about use effect. So that'll be fun. No live stream tomorrow, but we will have a live stream on Friday. We're going to take you on a tour of the logged in version of Epic React. So I'll show you all of the everything. It's going to be great. And I'll answer questions and stuff too. So yeah, that's all that I'm sharing with you today. Thank you so much. You rock. And yeah, we'll see you around on the internet. Peace out. That was the wrong thing. It's not starting soon. It's done. So I guess here's the outro. Bye.